So hello, everyone. Welcome to the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and thank you so much for sharing your day with us as we explore trademark enforcement, the basics for new registrants. My name is Marisa Terrell. I'm from the Trademark's Customer Outreach Office, and I'm pleased to serve as your co-host today. So before we move into the more substantive part of our presentation, let me just go over a few housekeeping points for you. First of all, the session is recorded, okay? That's a good thing. And the recording is going to be made available on YouTube in about 3 weeks or so. If you're interested in seeing that recording, all you have to do is go to YouTube, click on our page, USPTO, and hit subscribe, and then all of a sudden you'll get all of our videos at once, okay? We plan to share the presentation slides with you so long as we have been granted permission by our sister agencies who are with us today. And for our friends who are joining online via Teams, please check the chat thread throughout the presentation for a link so that you can access captioning. And finally, during the last presentation, which is called Lessons Learned the Hard Way, we're going to open up the discussion for questions. Over on that table, there's some blank cards. If you have a question, you want to write it out for us, please do so. And we're going to do our absolute best to respond. Also, you can send your questions to us via email at tmwebinar@uspto.gov. All right, let's get started. So if you recently received your first trademark registration, or if you're interested in learning how to enforce your trademark rights, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're going to hear from experts in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Office, and the National Intellectual Property Rights Coordination Center. You're going to also hear from partners in leading intellectual property law firms like Arendt, Fox, Schiff, Jones Day, Frankfurt, Kernet, Klein, and Seltz. It's our hope that by the conclusion of this event today, that you're going to know the basics on enforcing your trademark rights after registration. So at this time, it's my great pleasure to introduce Kathi Vidal, Undersecretary of Commerce for Intellectual Property and Director of the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Now, Director Kathi Vidal is, of course, responsible for leading the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, one of the biggest intellectual property offices in the world. I'm talking about a $4.2 billion operation with over 13,500 employees across the United States and Puerto Rico. In addition, as the Undersecretary of Commerce for Intellectual Property, Director Vidal serves as the Principal Intellectual Property Advisor to the President of the United States and his administration. Under her leadership, the United States Patent and Trademark Office, of course, drives innovation, entrepreneurship, and creativity for the benefit of all Americans. So, Director Vidal, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to turn this podium right on over to you. Thank you.
It's so great to be here, and thank all of you for being here. I know we have a ton of people online, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, so thank you for being here. I want to start with a couple stories. So when I first came into this position, one of the first events I spoke at related to trademarks. And I recounted a story of right before I came into the position, I was at my house in California, and one of my friends came over. And she was wearing what I thought was a beautiful Chanel hat. And I told her, I said, I love that hat. And she said, oh, I'll get you one. It's only $13. And so, of course, I had to inform her that that's not a thing, that Chanel hats do not cost $13, and she proceeded to communicate to me that she believed that Chanel licensed the Chanel mark for the hat, and that's why it was so inexpensive. So these are very sophisticated people who are unwittingly buying fake products. These products are infused into the marketplace by competitors, but also by criminal enterprises. So one of the reasons that we're here for you, and we're going almost a little bit broadening our lane, is because we know how important it is for you to register your trademark. For all of you online, you should pat yourself on the back, or in the room, you should pat yourself on the back for doing the registration process. Could tell you plenty of stories from people who lost their trademark because they used it locally and didn't register it nationally first. But once you register it, we want to help you enforce it. It's important for you. It's one of the most important assets you have to differentiate your goods, to tell people how great your goods are, and to make sure that all the sweat and tears you put into your business come to fruition, that you build that brand up, and it really launches you. It's also important to our country. We don't want to erode our economy with these fake goods. We don't want to empower these criminal enterprises. So I just want to share a couple other stories. One of the companies that I represented when I was in private practice involved two women who were basketball players. And they were on the court one day and they were feeling their athletic gear and thought, oh my God, wouldn't it be great if we made sheets out of this? Kind of would wick away sweat, keep you temperature regulated, did a ton of research and development at universities in the South, finally built a brand, came up with a name that they trademark, a coloring scheme, their packaging, did everything that they should have done right. I met these women at a women's event, and I knew they were under-resourced. Most original trademark owners don't have the money or the counsel to go out there and enforce those trademarks. But they started manufacturing the products overseas, and in that country where they manufactured it, somebody else started making the identical product. They started selling them online. It was the exact same branding, the exact same name, the exact same coloring, the exact same packaging. And so they didn't know what to do. And luckily, I had met them and was willing to help them out in a way that worked for them because they were under-resourced. But a lot of you don't have that advice and that guidance. So that's why we're here today. We want to let you know what to do when that happens. And as I said, it's not traditionally our lane. We're here to register your trademarks. We're very, very proud of that work. It's an amazing group here that does that. But we also have groups that work on the enforcement side of things. We're not enforcing them ourselves. We're coordinating both within the United States with other groups that you heard, but also internationally, because these are issues internationally. We're working across the globe through our attaché program as well to make sure that we enforce your trademarks, or make sure that you get the help you need to enforce it. One last story. When I was a very young lawyer many, many years ago, a friend came to me. We had kids in a daycare together. And she said that her sister had some mental challenges and now had a legal challenge because she took a picture of her brand. She put it on the side of a car and took a picture of her with the car and posted it on her website. So what could be wrong with that? Well, it turns out the car company actively goes through the internet and determines any place the vehicle is used. I won't say which company it is because they all do it. And they were there to enforce their trademark. So they told her she had to spend, I think it was $10,000, which was a lot of money for somebody who has $50 in their bank account. They told her she had to spend $10,000 or they would take her to court. Now, they need to do this. You need to enforce your trademark. So, and we reached a resolution, $0. I did it without representing her, $0. She agreed she would take it down. But you need to enforce your trademark. So they may sound like the bad actor here, but if you don't enforce your trademarks, they become generic. You lose the strength of that trademark. That's why all the great brands are out there doing it not just because somebody's competing with them, obviously if she wasn't competing, but they hire people just to make sure that, that they're just aggressively enforcing their trademarks and keeping up the strength. If you don't, there's a term, genericide. If you don't, the brand becomes generic. Just to give you a few examples, when you go on an escalator, you don't affiliate that with one brand. Right? You call all escalators escalators. Trampolines, that was once a trademark, but now when you buy a trampoline, you don't think, I want to buy a trampoline, not this other brand of, I don't know, jumpy thing. I don't know what you would call it generically. It's now called a trampoline. The hula hoop, same thing. I mean, what a cool name, a hula hoop. I mean, it's really creative in the beginning. That could have been a very strong trademark, but they didn't get out there and enforce it. Jet ski, so many things that you think of. I'm sure you can come up with your own, that when you go to grab something, you call it by a name, and if that name becomes generic, then there's no more strength to the trademark and you can no longer enforce it. So I want to thank our enforcement team and our trademark customer outreach unit. I know this has been many years in the making. You know, we're here to support you. A lot of the work that we do is for entrepreneurs. Check out all of our programming, from our Women's Entrepreneurship Series to all the great stuff we're doing, our National Entrepreneurship Strategy, our National Inclusive Innovation Strategy. We're here to support you. U.S. government is here to support you. And this is just going to be a fantastic day. So take notes, share it with friends, share our resources with friends, sign up for our mailing list. And I just wish you the best of success with enforcing your brand and just putting everything you can into your company. So thank you.